Hey everybody, this is Al with El Rey Collection, and here I am continuing the series of top 10 cards in the El Rey Collection for the decade of the 1990s, which is a super fun decade. Pre-modern cards are pretty amazing, mostly stickers actually, but there are still a number of cards. And without further ado, let's just jump into the 1990s. It's now we're starting to get to players that most collectors saw play. So that brings a whole different level of excitement. If you can remember, like for instance, here on this intro, R9, just blowing it out early in his in his career. Here he's a super young kid. They had just won in '94. And then everyone thought they were going to win in '98, or most people did, until they lost to Zidane in France. You got Ronaldinho, but let's just jump in there and let's see what we've got as the top cards from the 1990s. So, and again, this is going from least important to most important, but still to make the top 10 in any decade is pretty awesome. And here we've got in number 10, a Xavi or Javi, depending on how you're pronouncing the name. There's a number. He's got a great, sticker, but this card I just like a lot. It's still, this is the 1998 Panini Football. I like the just the typesetting of this, like the way that it says FC Barcelona. It just feels like it's 90s ish. It's got a pretty cool looking back. So in general, this card is pretty uncommon still. Certainly in comparison to the Este sticker. It's a tough grade, and again, I'll be having the grades of just PSA grades, and most of these stickers, most of the cards that I'll show you are traditionally in PSA, but I won't add other pop reports to the PSA. I just want to give you an idea for how tough these are. So these are still pretty tough, especially in 9, as you guys probably know by now. On the pre-modern and modern stuff, I kind of top out at kind of a 9. I usually don't want to pay the multipliers for a 10 if there are some kind of out there. But this starts off as a super attractive one. Again, there are options for Xavi rookies, and this to me is absolutely one of my favorites. With a current PSA pop of less than 40, which is pretty impressive for probably one of the best midfielders of the generation. Prefer, I know people are like, hey, who would you take, him or Iniesta? I probably am on the side of Iniesta, but I think any argument that you make for either one of those guys, I mean, they're just clearly elite. So in ninth place is a sticker that I honestly did not appreciate the scarcity over time. This particular copy is a VGS copy, but PSA has graded only 20 of these. When I had this sticker early in the days, which I have a couple of copies, I think, in SGC holders, lower to mid grades. I thought that these were slightly more rare maybe than the Spanish / Portuguese versions, which and so ultimately when I looked, I thought about this sticker. I didn't give it a lot of extra what's the word? Extra value because it was the Russian version, and you figure, wow, Russia is this huge country. There should be more than what you find in the Iberian Peninsula, but time has shown no. So maybe the distribution was localized. Maybe a lot of them got stuck. Maybe it was never fully distributed. But whatever the reason, it has stood the test of time on rarity. And so just to have a point of comparison, there are 19, and this, again, just PSA. There are 19 of these, the Russian versions, and there's nearly 4 times of that, 77 in Spanish. So this one has stood the test of time, and it seems to be at least 4x more difficult with a current PSA pop of less than 20. And this particular one is a really nice example. I know it's in a BGS holder, but the centering, I think you can appreciate here now that I'm putting the actual scans on the screen as opposed to just showing it. But you can see pretty well, the centering. And this is, what probably for me now is the second most important Henri sticker. So moving on to number 8. So number 8 on the list is the Larsson rookie sticker out of Sweden, and he's probably one of the greatest Swedish footballers of all time. He spent a lot of time at Celtic. I think they had like 4 titles in like his 6 or 7 years there. He's probably the greatest, foreign import in Scottish football, and I think they made it to the 2003, was it 2003 UEFA Cup final. So he was great. He had 200, 40 or 50 goals. I don't know where it kind of ended up, but he had a ton of goals. At Celtic, he's called the King of Kings, and this is the king of his stickers. PSA has not graded this yet, and it's kind of a bizarre back. You can see like a Donald Duck there, but it's super cool. Sticker. I think that he went on obviously to play at Barca and won a couple of La Liga championships as well. And this sticker is just one you don't see out there at all. So PSA hasn't graded it again. SGC's graded a couple. I think BGS has a couple, but you just don't see that out there. And it's really tough. You'll see a lot of the 1994 World Cup cards and stickers that have him. And remember that they came in 3rd place. I think they won the 3rd place game in 1994, which is pretty impressive accomplishment for, again, a small country. So anyway, this is a super tough one. You don't see it that often, and not. I think probably a lot of people don't even know the sticker exists. So if you're a Larsson fan, I would say put this on the list and try to find one. So going to number 7 on the list, we have obviously someone who is well known to collectors, one of the greats of his generation. Probably the yeah. I guess I'm going to leave it at one of the greats. I don't want to argue with too many people here, but clearly, a super important player, and I think he doesn't get the kudos that he deserves for his managerial career as well, because he's like, oh well, Real Madrid, they should win. Well, there's a lot of personalities, and I think he did a good job, even though it doesn't seem like he gets a lot of credit, at least to me. So, and a lot of people call this this card a rookie card. It is not a rookie card. There's zero question about that. But it is in the constellation of first issues for Zidane, and it is his first card. So you can it's his first card that makes it attractive. It's super tough to gem, and actually I think SGC actually has lower gem rates than PSA generally. And this one, I look at this card and it's a great candidate to try to cross over to PSA. It's just the surface just looks absolutely perfect. The centering looks perfect, and I totally understand why this got a 10 from SGC. And it's one of the very few cards I have of all my SGC cards that are 10. So you can see it's a 3%, even at PSA, it's a 3% gem rate. So pretty tough card, very cool, sturdy cardboard if you're not into stickers. this would probably be the best Zidane card that you could find. All right, so moving on to number 6, we've got one of the great Dutch players ever. Certainly if you're a fan of Ajax or Arsenal, he was just absolutely a monster. Won three Premier League titles, I want to say, with Arsenal. Had like more than 100 goals, and I think he averaged more than a half a goal a game. So that's pretty impressive. And you just gotta think. I mean, I think about this sticker. All the vote ball stickers are tough when you go back to the early '80s, when there's some very important stickers coming out of Panini Holland. But I feel like there should be more of these, right? I mean, there's only 38 in PSA holders, which includes 7 9s, and I one recently auction. I want to say it was around $1,500, which kind of for how rare the sticker is, especially in a 9. I feel like that's a low number. He's got a huge following of people who remember those Arsenal teams. So I feel like this is just a great sticker, important sticker, soccer sticker for the hobby, and that's why it comes in all the way up at number 6. And then this is where things get kind of hard for me. There are a number of great R9 stickers, including the Volt Ball rookie sticker. For me, this one is just my favorite. I like the visual of here. I like the kit that he has. Brazil wins this, obviously not with a massive contribution from R9, but they win this World Cup. You can see, you can't really see from the scan, but he has braces. This is a hand cut sticker, so it comes out of a sheet. So it's generally hard to get in high grade. You can see here you've got 1 9 out of 100 so far. This is an 8, so it's definitely one of the higher grade examples. But in general, in my collecting for 15 years, I want to say for more than the first decade, probably first 12 years, I'd say we generally thought that this sticker was much harder than it has turned out to be. So, I don't know if there was, stacks of sheets sitting in some warehouse that people were ultimately able to cut, but, and even getting the sticker in a 5, used to be kind of a big deal. The ones that we did see out there, had been cut, and they were most likely, 3s or 4s if they had been graded. So it was, this has kind of been one of the negative surprises in the pre-modern collecting for me, because it shows that this pop just increased dramatically, and we used to think this had some true rarity to it. It seems like it doesn't, and now it's turning into more condition rarity, which is kind of subjective because of these manual cuts anyway. So, but I still love, I don't love the blank back, but I love the blue, and I love the Brazil kit. So I find that this sticker still makes the list of the most important stickers for me from the 1990s. So that's number 5. So going forward to number 4, and this is here's the Ronaldinho sticker, rookie sticker. This is his only rookie, which makes it really fun to collect. I think that's really an underrated thing in soccer sticker card collecting, is if you only have 1 or 2 rookies. I think that should be that should catapult up the importance of a particular card, and this is the case with Ronaldinho here. And this particular one is in really good shape. It's got an 8.5 from SGC. Its problem is primarily the centering. Everything else looks really, really nice on this. PSA only has 80, and I know that there have been a lot of conversations through the years of like, wow, it's Brazil, it's the 1990s, they're soccer craze. There's got to be thousands of these out there. I think time has shown that, what, there's not. And especially if you're looking at, you want something a 7 or higher. In fact, right now there's only 14. So less than, 25% of the pop is 7 or higher. And unfortunately, a couple of these have passed through hands of kind of hobby known trimmers. So, I think that this is an absolute classic sticker that should be on anyone's list. If you're a Brazil fan, if you're a Barcelona fan, if you're just a football fan, really, this, his skills still probably were the most amazing skills that I ever saw with my own eyes. So there's Ronaldinho, awesome, sticker in the Gremio kit, and one that's tougher than you think, and I think has stood the test of time, and it's tough to get, certainly in relatively high grade. So now we're down to the final three, and in third place we have it should be a surprise to almost none, the Henri Foot 97 sticker, again a Panini sticker. You notice that in the previous videos Panini made some appearances, but here you've got let me see, the Xavi card is Panini, the sticker, the Henri Russian sticker is Panini, the Larsson sticker is Panini, the Zidane card, yeah, that's Panini too. And then this, so every single one, let's see, what's that? Are we on 7? 6 of the 7, because El Mundo Deportivo wasn't, have been Panini. So Panini is really dominating the hobby here in terms of their issues. And I think in the end, it'll be like 8 out of 10 or something like that. Or Panini. And I love these foot stickers, with just the bright colors that just jump off. And then this is like a color match with the Arsenal jersey, which is just so cool. Yeah, I don't know. I just love this. I love this sticker. He's obviously got a huge following. He's still relevant, making TV appearances and announcing. It's 91. That's not a big number by any stretch of your imagination. It's slightly more than the Ronaldinho ones, but in general, this is just a really tough sticker. And again, it's tough to get in PSA. These would be 9 or 10s are tough, and roughly half of the pop is 7s and above. But if you're looking for 9s or 10s, or you can see the gem rate is above 5%, but that's still pretty low for a 1990s sticker, and the 9s are a little higher at roughly 20% or so. So anyway, this sticker is just one of the most classics from the 1990s, and should really have been no surprise. I'm sure most people that follow this stuff would have had the sticker kind of in the top 3. It makes number 3 for me in a PSA 9 condition. Number 2 for me is a sticker that some people really don't like, but it's a really tough R9 sticker. It comes from a 1994 World Cup album called Avel Limitada. These are really not great looking stickers. They all are terribly, well, most of them are terribly cut. This one you can see is completely miscut, and there's part of the other sticker you can see on one side where it's actually completely miscut. I'm not exactly sure why a lot of these are terribly cut, but this one gets the points for rarity. They're still less than 10 graded. This is the highest one that's graded. It's a 7, but it's an MC, so it's miscut. and that means in general that it would take at least a couple grades deduction. So the highest without a qualifier, which I'm going to say that probably the 6 is probably an MC as well, but without a qualifier, the highest one is a 5, and that actually recently sold, I think, for like 8,500. Even in this market in October 2023, that's kind of a big sale. So super tough R9 sticker, low pop, and I think those things really kind of hard to grade. I think those things are kind of what makes this rise to number 2, even if it's not the most attractive from an eye appeal perspective. Certainly on the list of ones to get for many different collectors. If you find them, it's typically going to be in low grade where there'll be removed stickers. But I wouldn't hesitate to pick one of these up in a PSA 1, 1.5, 2, especially if you like the eye appeal and the centering was better than this one that you see here. Okay, and then that brings us to the last number 1 sticker. I think it's got to be a surprise to absolutely no one, and that is the Zidane rookie sticker. Clearly the GOAT of the 1990s stickers. I think this is one of the easiest calls I have in all of my decade. Is that this sticker is by far the best, the most important. And while the pop is slightly higher than the Henri or Ronaldinho, this sticker's always been absolutely key to the hobby, and people have been collecting it and grading this for decades. And when you think about this, that really means we only have 111. That's still just shocking to me that the pop is so low, and specifically that there are only 6 9s. Again, relatively shocking to know there's only 6 9s. This is one of them. There's 16 8s, so it's got basically a 15% 8 rate and 5% 9 rate. So between those, only 20% are 8 or above of the entire pop, and kind of the median area of kind of where you would say, hey, this is kind of an average. An average Zidane would be somewhere around the 6, 5 to 6 range. So if you have a 5 or a 6, you have basically a 50th percentile type sticker there, and that's really a bit shocking for a early 1990s sticker. So obviously, in terms of value, I don't think we've seen a 9 trade in a while. I think 8s, at the peak were like 24, 25s. Maybe the 9s were like double that. I really don't remember at this moment. Of course, it would be significantly off of that, but just given how important of a player that this is his only rookie sticker, and there's only 6 9s, I think that this is probably one of the more key stickers in the entire hobby, and certainly it is in the El Rey collection, which is the collection that I tend to focus on. So probably no surprise there. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please like the video. It doesn't cost you anything. And I'd love to hear your comments if I got something wrong, if I missed a sticker. Sometimes, my brain forgets everything that's kind of out there for a particular decade. I do a lot of work. I check out all the pop reports. I try to kind of assess, hey, what would be the last 10 stickers I would keep from the 1990s. Let me know if you think I'm crazy below. Add the comments. Check out our Vintage Soccer Discord as well. And looking forward to hearing you. Hope you enjoyed the top 10 of the 1990s video from the El Rey collection.